Peoples of the universe, please attend carefully. The message that follows is vital to the future of you all.
Well, of course it is. Of course it is. Vital to the future of you all. But I have to make our own special introduction for this one. I started doing it with nothing. Hopefully next week is the week. I'll get it done. As you know, this is Fans in Faith. A weekly foray into the world of geekdom for your theologically what's the word I'm thinking of? Your theologically loving fan. Of course, I am not alone. I have my partner in crime.
Good morning.
Father Chris Miller, how are you, sir? Big week for you. Big week for me.
I am actually just waking up because I've only been awake for about 40 minutes.
Oh, well, okay.
The beauty of Good Friday, which we're celebrating today, is there's no morning mass. So that means I don't have to set the alarm clock, which means I can sleep in.
Wait, okay. Why is there no morning mass on Good Friday? I thought that'd be a
no, that's a good question. So as I was mentioning last week, the idea of Holy Thursday, Good Friday, and Easter Saturday is the idea of one continuous flow of a liturgy.
Right.
So what began last night when we celebrated Holy Thursday continues into the Good Friday service this afternoon.
Right, so keep in mind, I know nothing. I know eclectic things, but remind me what happened on Thursday? What happened on Friday?
Okay. So
that was the important dates.
In anticipation of Passover, a day early, Jesus celebrated the Last Supper with his disciples. On that night, he gave us the sacraments of the Eucharist and the priesthood. And then after the supper, they went to the garden where Jesus was arrested and taken into custody. So on Friday, he was before Pilate, was led through the carrying of the cross. That's the devotion that we celebrate usually on Fridays. Crucified and died. So
Friday, not a good day. Not a good day.
Well, it depends on how you look at it. It's a contradiction.
Yeah, but fine.
So that's part of the reason. This is one of the few days that we don't have mass in the morning.
Because this is the day that he died.
Jesus died.
Right. Okay. Fine. So that's so it's like kind of like a flag at the half mast, and then the resurrection happened on what, Sunday or
tomorrow?
Sunday?
Tomorrow. So tomorrow night at 8:30 my time, we'll be celebrating the Easter liturgy.
Okay. So again, I've only seen movies, right? So I'm very shaky. What's the story like? Where, how was he resurrected? When did he come back? Like, what went down?
Okay, so we believe 3 days after he died, and again, don't ask me how Friday to Saturday counts as 3 days. But part of the thing is, it's like just as this Passover and the Seder or the Sabbath can't start till sundown. The Easter Vigil can't start until the sun has set.
Right.
So for us here, it would be at 8:30, which is actually about my bedtime.
Okay.
How did it happen? We don't know. We just know that.
Like when was the first time people saw him again?
Well, that's good. It depends on which gospel you look at. Because in one of the Gospels, Mary Magdalene and another went to the tomb to be able to, I believe it was some anointing for the body, and the body wasn't there. There's another one where I believe it was still Mary Magdalene encountered what she thought was the gardener, but it was the Lord. It was only when Jesus called out to her that she recognized it was the Lord. There's another account where St. Peter and St. John were told about the rising of Jesus, and they ran to the tomb and saw it was empty.
Okay, so there must have been a time where the 12 apostles saw him, right? That's the claim of divinity.
Yeah. So,
what was that?
I'm trying to remember which gospel, but this would be what we consider the institution of the sacrament of confession. On the night that he was raised, he appeared to the 12, even though the doors were locked. He appeared to them and breathed on them and said, "Receive the Holy Spirit. Whose sins you forgive are forgiven. Whose sins you retain are retained." So, because of that verse, and those words of our Lord, that's where we get the sacrament of confession, and that's where I get the ability to absolve sins.
Right. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. So, because like
and it happened again. It happened again about a week later because Thomas wasn't there, and he's like, I just saw Jesus die on a cross. Unless I put my hand into his side and touch his wounds, I won't believe. So a week later, Thomas was there with the 12. Jesus appeared again and told him, put your hand into my side, put your fingers into my wounds, and see that I'm not dead. I'm alive.
Okay, so shouldn't there be like an Easter 2 then?
Well, why would there be an Easter 2?
A miracle than the first one?
Well, the miracle would be on Easter Sunday.
Right, but there should be one a week later, shouldn't there? See, this is why you don't let Jews in. We ask these questions, okay?
Yeah, but so in the church, we celebrate what's known as the octave of Easter. So over the course of over a week, each day is treated as another Easter.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. See,
same thing with Christmas.
I did not know. And then, okay, so after the apostle saw him, what happened to him next? Like, did he just vanish in a puff of light, or
no? That's a good question. We say that he was still on earth for 40 days. Again, the end of the Gospels have a lot of accounts, or at least there's a few of the accounts. And again, it's like trying to list the favorite Star Trek episode right off the top of your head when you're being pressed for it.
City on the Edge of Forever. That
was usually my go-to. That's my go-to. But I mean, there's the encounter with St. Peter as they're fishing. Jesus on the shore. If you know anything about St. Peter, he denied knowing Jesus 3 times during the Passion.
Right.
So for those 3 denials, Jesus asked him 3 times if he loved him. So, I mean, there's that encounter with that. He eats fish. Don't ask what happened to the fish afterwards. We try not to think of what happens when Jesus eats the fish.
I mean, listen, I guess he's some kind of like spiritual entity. He probably wouldn't need, it'll probably just...
Well, but we don't believe he's just a spirit. I mean, what we believe is through when he became flesh, the incarnation, we recognize Jesus as 2 natures in one body. So a divine being with a human nature and a divine nature. And when Jesus died, it was in his humanity. I mean, you got to be careful how you phrase this because you don't want to make it sound like that God himself died. I mean, Jesus did die, but the way that you word it, you got to be careful because it could sound heretical.
Right. Yeah, listen, you're always treading on eggshells when you get. Let me just say hello to everybody in the chat. Mailbot 23, how you doing? You got your like it? I like that you liked it. Hopefully we'll have time to hang out and like. I hope you're still here. Cal Lynch, okay, I hope your boss has gone to get his vaccine. Yeah, hopefully there's a line. You'll be fine. Students Cuba, hello, humans, other critters, and waves the ecumenical paddle. We wave back. We don't have flippers. We wave. Oh, no, you don't have flipper. You're a polar bear. My mistake. I keep thinking. Kel Lynch, he'll be busy all afternoon. Good Friday Mass is...
No. Our liturgy starts at 3. And it's going to be different this year because of the thing that shall not be named. Yeah, I mean, it's just basically, it'll probably be a half hour to 40 minutes today.
Right. Kel Lynch points out the Last Supper was a Seder. So I did my Seder on like a week ago today.
Oh, good.
I forgot to tell you, like the main thing about a Seder is you just there's a lot of eating of there's before you get to the meal. Right, like you start. I said like while I was going through, I said, I really got to remember because next time you're going to ask me, and I was kind of clueless, right, until I went through it again. So you basically this year we have to start a little bit later than normal because you're not allowed to start preparing before Sabbath is over. So we had to you couldn't start till I think 7:20 because my wife couldn't start preparing. Normally you really do all day, but anyway, so you basically the first part of it is you sit at the table and you have wine, which is where one of the so what do you call it again? What's it called again?
Ecumenical.
Ecumenical. One of the when you get wine and the unleavened bread, but you start with wine. You say a blessing over wine, and then but basically the first hour of it is reading a book called the Haggadah, which gives you the essentially the history of the Jewish people leading up to the Exodus, but it's done in a way that you're supposed is prompting questions to ask. But the thing is, after you get past the whole story bit, which is about an hour to 2 hours, at that point you've got to do all the ritual stuff. So, okay, the first thing you do is you have matzah, which is huge. Okay, it's like about this big, right? One of these things big. So you have to eat one of them. Then, oh no, that's not first. Then, oh, is it first? But then you also have to eat lettuce. You have to have like a bitter herb, and so I do horseradish because you need less of that, or you can use romaine lettuce. But there's so much of it you got to get through, right? And then you get this other thing called charoset, which in the Ashkenazi tradition is like cut up apples and wine, and there's a lot of wine going on, wine and nuts, and so you have that all together, right? And then you do it all again with the matzah. You have a sandwich, right? And you got to and at that point you get to the meal. And by the time you get to the meal, you're like, oh god. Really? And you had 2 glasses of wine, and you had all the matzah. You feel it start to ferment within inside you. But tomorrow's the last day of it. I think it's probably one of it commemorates something. I think probably one of the biggest miracles that I can think of in the Bible, in the Old Testament, which is the splitting of the Red Sea. So a few years ago we went. Look, a lot of people go away for Passover because they don't want to get their house kosher for Passover. It takes forever. It takes weeks, right? So a lot of people go away. We went to a hotel one year in Eilat, and so it was really cool. We were actually at the exact point where the Red Sea was supposed to split, right?
Nice.
On the beach, and it's supposed to split at dawn. But that's tomorrow. If I could find a dawn minyan, was it prayer group services to pray at, I would do, because that's supposed to be the one of the best times to pray. But that's basically tomorrow. But there's no special ritual for it. It's just the same as you've been doing all week. But here's a question for you, right? Question I've been pondering all week. See what you think. What makes the splitting of the Red Sea different from the 10 plagues? Why aren't there 11 plagues? Right? Like what quality? Okay, so you had lice and all that. I mean, for the Egyptians especially, splitting is a plague. Like, why? What makes that not a plague?
Well, I was going to say, I mean, you look at the sheer size of the Red Sea, to think that they're going to split that in the middle. I mean, that would be pretty darn impressive.
Yeah, but is it more impressive than the
split the sea in half? I would say it is.
I don't think scale matters. I mean, size doesn't matter. I hate to be I don't think.
But then to wipe out the Egyptian army on top of that too.
That's what I think is his bigger thing. That's what I see. What I was thinking is this: that the template, the function of the 10 plagues, is something for the world. It's something that to destroy this completely anti-God ideology of the Egyptians, not a million miles away from where we are today. But there's incredible anti-God philosophy, but destroy it completely. But then I think the splitting of the Red Sea, because do you know what was it? A medrash is like a apocrypha, which is like these things that flesh out the story. So there's a medrash that like each personal Israelite's tormentor was then thrown up on the beach next to him, so he actually saw that they were there. So I think that.
Now, where would I find that?
That's okay. You want to get something called Chumash with Rashi. Chumash with Rashi is
Text me that, please. I can't. I'm not even going to attempt to spell that.
Yeah, one second. I'll let me find Art Scroll Chumash with Rashi. Chumash is the 5 books of Moses with
the Torah.
Exactly. But I'm just trying to find the. Is this the one? Yeah, I'm just putting it up right now. But so Rashi, Rabbi Shimon Isilis. What we do with our great rabbis, we abbreviate them to their to the first letters of the name. So Rashi is the prime commentator on the Bible, on the 5 books of Moses. 1 second, here it is. Fine. So here's the prime commentator of it. Can I show you what's inside?
Oh wow.
But it's not showing you. It's view sample pages. There you go. Fine. So there's a way I can zoom in. Will it let me zoom in? So you see,
if you do the shift and the scroll.
Shift and scroll.
Oh. Well, let me try it on mine. I'm sorry. Control scroll.
No, still. Maybe,
okay.
If it's a JPEG here, let me open it as a JPEG. Now that'll be easier to manipulate. There you go. Fine. So just opening up now. I'll go. Actually, there's something else I should share with you today, which is pretty cool. There you go.
Got cat shark here.
You have a cat shark?
Well.
Okay, so up here in this bit over here, can I highlight it? Is it highlighting on the screen? Yeah, that bit. So that is that's the Bible. So Bereshit bara Elokim. So in the beginning. So over here we have the English version. In the beginning, God created that. All right. So this is the main commentator Rashi in the original Hebrew. They gave it its own special type of print so you can read it easier. So and then
if you read Hebrew,
exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. So and also there's no vowels on this, makes it really hard to. So this bit over here like translates it word for word. But there's another book you can have to get. There's a whole other area of study called What's Bothering Rashi. Right? There's a book called What's Bothering Rashi, where you got to work out why he's saying there's something to comment on. And then once you do that, you get like this real in-depth view of the Bible.
I'm going to grab one of mine. I can still hear you.
Okay, fine. And then so you have all the footnotes over here, but I'm surprised they don't teach this stuff more in like Christian seminaries because I don't think there's much like heretical to. I mean, in the Gemara, in the Talmud, there is Exodus, movement of the people. I think.
So this is one of the commentaries I have.
Right. So who did that?
This is I don't know. It's printed by Ignatius Press. Okay, Scott Hahn, who's a convert,
right,
and he's a friend of mine. Curtis Mitch. Scott Hahn was a Protestant scholar or pastor that had a conversion, became Catholic through reading the early writings of the church, and he's probably one of the smartest guys I know. But,
let's say you're converting from Protestant to Catholic. What is there? Is it like a different procedure?
Well, how to say it? We would say as Catholics, and I know Derek's going to disagree with this. When Jesus ascended into heaven, so that goes back to your question. 40 days,
right?
That Jesus was on earth. So at the end of 40 days is the ascension into heaven, body and soul. And as he goes into heaven, he tells the apostles to go out and baptize all nations in the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. And that's what we do whenever we baptize. We use those words. And as they went, and I'm kind of losing my train of thought because I haven't had any coffee this morning.
I'm sorry. You could have done this an hour later. I feel really bad.
It's okay. Don't worry. I was already awake, so it's just because it's Good Friday. As Catholics, we fast today.
Okay.
So no eating between meals. So I haven't had breakfast yet, which means I can't drink coffee.
When you say you fast, is it like the from when to when do you have to fast?
Well, the idea of it that for us to fast is no eating between meals, and we're allowed one big meal today and 2 smaller meals that, when combined, don't equal the big meal.
Okay. Wow. So, how do you define the size of a meal?
It's subjective, I think. I mean, if you look at an athlete that's burning thousands of calories a day, I mean, they can't expect to eat the same amount as I will. So for today,
I'll
since I'm doing keto, I'll probably do some eggs and cheese for breakfast. I have a
right.
salmon steak for lunch, which I'll eat for my main meal with some. Well, since I'm not Jewish, I could say pork rinds, since those are keto friendly.
Yeah, look, I mean, even a Jewish is fine. I have to say,
And then I'll probably do again some eggs for dinner with again cheese.
Okay, very good. Actually, today was a big day. Let me share the screen with you. It was the first time I went out to a restaurant and I went out with my family.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's the first time in like years. I mean, over a year easily. 1 second, I'll pull up the picture to prove
I
it
get my second shot this week, so about a month from now, I'm hoping to go home for the first time in 20 months.
Oh, that'd be nice. My
Yeah,
wife's put the filter on it. 1 second. We go over here. No, oh, really? Hang on 1 second. I'm gonna hang on.
Okay, I know where my train is going now from what Derek said. We would say there was one church up until 1054 when the Orthodox split, and then when Luther had his problem in 1517, that's when all the divisions in Christianity came about.
No, okay. Oh, I just realized I'm sharing the wrong screen. Hang on. Let me just, I'm trying to share from Facebook. I'll share from over here, which will be easier. Yeah, we go. We went through like a gazillion of these pictures till all my daughters were happy. They look suitably normal. Here we go. So breakfast is a big meal in Israel. So you eat it. Where is it? It's over here. There you go. That's their first time we out.
Nice.
Yeah, and all our kids were home, so it was unusual. And so it's been I can't remember the last time we all went out together. But that was good for you. I like getting them all home at the same time is hard.
Yeah.
So there you go. Free at last. So I didn't see Derek in the chat yet. Let me just catch up and say hello to everybody. Ethan Buckheimer's here. Cal Lynch, hello. I've already said hello to you. I'll say hello again. It's a fast day, no coffee. Oh, don't matter. Derek, I have to reply to you. You asked me to do something. I'm more than happy to do it, but I would like to for your mother. It's going to take me a little bit. It's going to take me a couple of days before I can get to it. But if you would like me to facilitate it and work as an address to collect in more of those things that you would like sent to your mother, so you don't have the doctor, I'm more than happy to facilitate. I will reply to you soon. I'm just in the middle of doing 10 things. As a member of the Church of Ireland, I am practically Roman Catholic anyway, so these things don't bother me. Okay, no fasting today for East Lynn. Caroline to Derek Maris. High Church Episcopalian, i.e. Anglican. No meat on Fridays during Lent. Well, there you go. Yeah, is that in the evening as well, or is that just on? Is that during that 24
meat.
hours? Yeah,
it's no meat on any Friday.
Oh wow, that's my wife's upstairs grilling steaks right now for Sabbath. Ethan said, I studied with Catholics. I was raised Baptist, joined Methodist Church. I don't have a handy to get to Catholic Church nearby. Listen, Father Miller, I think is always there at the end of a tweet or a Facebook message if you want to think. It was nice to see my family too. On Ash Wednesday in New York, if I didn't have time to get my ashes at church, I went to a Catholic church. I'm sure Father Miller would. I'm sure he would.
But the thing that's amazing is how many people get upset if they don't get the ashes. It's not a required thing. I mean, it's a nice way to begin Lent, but it's not required.
So, what is the ashes?
So, I gotta throw the cat. So what happens is, like I said, last Sunday was Palm Sunday. So at church we all get palms, and the idea of it is at the at the beginning of Lent, as we get ready for Lent, you're supposed to bring your palms back. We burn them, we grind them into dust, and that's the ashes.
Right. Oh, wow. So how do you do that? Okay, because yeah,
I've done it before. I put them over a grill with aluminum. I can't even say it. It's basically some
Aluminium?
type of a metal tin,
Right.
and a lot of lighter fluid to be able to get them to burn, and then you get a shifter and you put them through it.
Right, because normally on the day before Passover, actually the day of Seder, we do this thing called burning of the chametz, which is when you collect everything, you collect up whatever bread you have left over, and you burn it on thing. But a lot of people take their palm branches from the holiday of Sukkot, right, which is where I think it probably came from, and they burn them at the same time.
I'm not familiar with it.
So listen, if you want real used like palm fronds, right? Go on the day of Seder to where Jews are burning their lulavs, their palms, and you'll be able to get plenty, right? You'll be able to.
I just go to the Catholic bookstore.
Oh, they sell ashes. The only time I have to deal with ashes is on Tisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av is the 15th, the 9th day of the month of Av. It's in August. And it's a big fast. It's a day that the Jewish temple was destroyed a couple of thousand years ago. And the meal that you have to have, before you, it's a 25-hour fast, which means nothing. Not between the nothing. Okay, absolutely not. I mean, unless you're sick and you need to, well, pregnant or whatever. But then the final thing you're supposed to eat on sitting on the floor is an egg, which is a mourner's food, dipped in ashes. And I can't stand boiled eggs, and I can't stand ashes even more. So that's a tradition that I'm not too 100% on board for.
So, well,
there
I
you
gotta
go.
show you something with the nerddom. I gotta show you what I picked up this week.
I want to see. What is that? Oh wow! So what year is that from?
62.
The downfall of Superman. What pulled him down?
Look at that! Look what I paid for it.
I can't
now,
see.
The comic book store.
50 cents or $6.50? Wow,
$6.50, but even better because it was half off.
Oh right, so you got it
for the comic book store. So if you saw the tweet I sent out earlier this week, I went a little crazy at the comic book store. Oh, I got a phone call, but I'm not going to take it.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay.
But I picked.
Talk us through these. Which is each one? I wish I could make that smell. Right. I would love that old comic book smell.
So basically, twice a year, the comic book store has a half off sale, and the sale was supposed to be yesterday and today, but because I live 4 hours from the comic book store and I've been going there for years, he allowed me to take part in it a few days early because I was in town for the mass with the bishop. These are. This is a fun one. Let me see if I can zoom in on this.
Okay, what was it say? Let me make your screen bigger. How can you deny I'm your signed Superman? It's covered over. You're signed our marriage certificate, and there's super. Why did you leave us? So that must be Superman's daughter.
No, wife.
Superman's wife.
Superman's secret pass. But this one is from, I think, 62 as well. This is a fun story, and I started reading it the other day. What if Earth blew up and Lois Lane was sent to Krypton?
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, so...
Well, was it amazing? So what did happen?
Well, she became super.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah.
Did you ever read...
And she's allergic to Earthright instead of kryptonite.
I love it. Did you ever read Adam Moore? He did Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow. It was...
I think I have.
Yeah, that was the one where... What do you get the man who's got everything? That was the one. It was Superman's birthday.
I will tell you... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, it's Superman's birthday, and Batman and Robin show up, and they got something for Superman. And they find he's got this plant embedded into his chest, right? And then he's living this whole other life where Krypton didn't blow up, and what Krypton would have been like had it survived. And this A/B plot. It was really good. It was really, really good.
I will show you the one that I really want to get. Okay, here we go.
Jimmy Olsen, featuring the son of Superman. Was it Jimmy? Was it Jimmy? The gift you got me for Father's Day makes me sorry I ever adopted you as my son. I'll teach you to destroy.
I'll have to destroy it
to teach you a lesson. But Superman, Dad, what did I do that was wrong? It looked like a very nice dressing gown that Jimmy Olsen got him.
Let me see if I can find the other one that I have. The thing that I really the Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane are the two comics I've really been working at collecting. Just because the sheer campness is awesome, and
they're so much fun. Here we go.
Let's see.
Did you ever read the Grant Morrison run, All-Star Superman, where they had that? You might like that because it very, very heavily riffs off like those that classic Superman.
The Supermans I'm focusing on are prior to the 80s.
Right, so that's why I like this All-Star Superman, because it really went back to that like very like joyous 1950s kind of 60s feel to it.
I don't know how we'll go with this one here.
So was it? God, Superman, snap my air hose because I won't marry him. He's committing the perfect murder. I love these covers.
Look at his face. Look at his face.
Exactly. Why? How did she get into space? What's going on? Well, she's.
I mean, that's the thing I love about these old comics, and that's why I've been collecting them. It's just the campiness of them.
Right.
I mean, you saw the new Star Wars comic that just came out with the two non-binary trans whatever.
I was gonna put that on the thumbnail, but I just didn't have time to airbrush it out.
Where did that thing? Okay, so this was my receipt from the comic book store.
Okay, you had a good time there.
I did have a little good time.
Okay.
I don't think I paid anything more than what a new comic would cost.
Well, new comics aren't. First you got to find a new comic. There not so many of them around anymore.
No. There's the store I go to has like a whole wall of new comics.
Yeah, but DC are putting out what, a quarter of what they used to put out? Less. They put out 12.
Well, I'll show you this. This is the one that I'm reading now. That's a new one.
Stray Dogs. Who's that by?
Yeah.
What is it? Who's it by?
It's by Tony Fleece, Trish Forrester. Basically, a dog is kidnapped by the guy that killed her master, and they're trying to get away.
Okay. Sounds good. Have they done anything before?
The other new one I'm reading.
I don't know that either.
Well, this is one that's printed by Image. This is basically stories about clowns, and they're not happy stories.
They don't seem to be too happy clowns. I can see. Right. It's
really, my comic list is I hardly have anything from Marvel and DC anymore.
Yeah, well, there's nothing to read. I mean, we're just waiting for them to like go under completely.
Even Deadpool. I used to subscribe to Deadpool. That's no longer fun.
Well, nothing has survived the woke apocalypse. Here, what's it? Let me show you some covers for All-Star Superman, because again, it really does have that. And it's modern, but it has that very classic kind of goofy feel and look to it.
Well, I'll ask you, have you read Red Sun? I
love Red Sun. One of my favorites.
I showed a priest I stayed with earlier the cartoon version of it.
I never saw the car. I should be able to get it now.
The cartoon is woke. The cartoon is woke.
Everything
Wonder
is
Woman is from an island of women, and go figure the rest.
Okay. Here, one second. I'm just pulling these covers. Fine. Let me just open these JPEG. 1 second. Hang on. There you go. Here we go. That should do it. But it's got very good. Oh, here's another good one. It's got very good art by was it opening
Swan?
Acrobat? That's weird. No, I don't want to open Acrobat. Full squid. You never want to open Acrobat. In 1 second. Open with preview. That's it. Fine. Now I get to share the screen. I tell you, there's a lot for a boomer to remember, right? A lot for a boomer to remember here. Share screen. There we go. So that's
okay, so it's a little bit more modern then.
Yeah, no, this is from about 15 years ago.
So for me, that would be modern.
Yeah, no, it's totally modern. But you see, it's got that that campy feel to it, right? That where Superman is super. It's like which I really kind of enjoy. Yeah, let me find this out. There's other.
The thing that I miss about the old comics is I wish the new ones would go back to the paper they printed on.
Well, you want Alterna for that. Alterna prints on newsprint.
Okay, because I know that sometimes they've been printing facsimiles of old comics.
Right.
They've been doing it like that.
But Alterna print on print their current books on newsprint. They're cheaper for it. They're a lot more fun. They're good stuff. Fine. Okay, I just saw the chat got completely ahead of me. Fine. Let me say hello to more people. Fine. So Paul Priest, hey all, trad Catholic over there. Trad Jew here, mate. I think you got a trad Catholic right over here. Okay, you look pretty trad to me. The Church of Ireland formed the Anglican Communion. Without the Irish monks of the early Middle Ages, Christianity would have died. I'm not going to touch that one. That's the one for me. Heather Solar says, "Bonjour, rabbis. How are you?" Paul Priest says, "Cluny monks did a lot too." I don't know who are Cluny.
Cluny was a monastery in France. Basically, it's because of the Irish and the French monks that preserved a lot of the ancient classics, like the Greek philosophers.
Okay. Paul Priest asked, does anybody remember the Savior comic where the Jonathan Ross lookalike was the Antichrist? I don't remember. I do vaguely remember it now. It sounds like an English comic if it had Jonathan Ross in it. Who was Jonathan Ross is a kind of a popular English, used to be like a talk show host. I'm not sure if he still is. Back in the day, 1,000 years ago, there was a war between Christians and Odin worship. Frankly, Odin won that round, but being geographically isolated, Ireland was the last bastion of Christianity. Again, if you say that,
I'm referring to Saint Boniface. Saint Boniface was the one that evangelized Germany and chopped down a sacred tree, and because he wasn't struck dead, they converted.
Right. Oh, wait. But I think Derek McManus has the most important comment. We're going to highlight it. Buy Cyberfrog or the Rabbi's comic. Yeah, these are all very good. This is just good advice. This is just good advice that will get you through life. We're living through clown conception right now. Yeah, clown set. Yes, we are. We are. It's a very strange world we live in. Did you see? Was it AOC this week said that saying that. There's a crisis at the southern border as the people surge to come in. Then that's a white supremacist talk. Even though, but just on January 20th, right? On January 20th, America was still running those special camps that people concentrated in, according to her. Suddenly, magically on the 21st, they turned it into fluffy bunny sanctuary. Right? Incredible. In Stout 15 years, well-written movies of book. There's nothing worth seeing in the last 15 years. Paul Priest says, I just read my Hellblazer and Sandman comics. Loathe the modern comedy. Yeah. Did you ever read Hellblazer?
No.
Oh, I'm not sure if you would have
I've really only been into comics hardcore into comics maybe the last 6-7 years.
Oh man,
I've always been into
always
the
was.
superhero stuff though, because I don't know if you remember. So I would have been 15 in 1990. I remember when the Flash came out in CBS, the original Flash.
Oh, the one with Wesley
John, yeah, Sniper, whatever it was.
Yeah,
I remember watching that.
Yeah, no,
I loved the Tick when it was on.
I was working in a video store when that came out, and we got it on video in England rather than on TV.
Now,
I remember really enjoying it.
This was an American show in the 80s.
Yeah.
Street Hawk.
I remember Street Hawk. Yeah, that was about
motorcycle
11 p.m. on Thursday night. There was a really bad one in the same kind of vein as Street Hawk called Nightman. Perhaps the worst. No, not Knight Rider. No. Okay. Knight Rider was Shakespeare compared to Nightman. It was it was the worst show I've ever seen.
I've never heard of it.
What's this you're sharing?
So this is one of the anchors for the NBC Nightly News, one of the 3 big channels in America.
Right.
He won a major award and basically said fairness is overrated.
Well, I guess it is for them. I mean, they certainly don't like being berated.
Well, but the thing was, he's like, why should we give equal times to somebody that, thinks the world is flat? And it's kind of getting into areas where we got to be careful how we say it, because I don't want to get you into trouble with.
Right.
Well, you already got demonetized.
I mean, like, how can I be in more trouble? Really? I mean,
yeah.
Listen, I mean, it's not normally black and white issues. Why not deal with issues that the country's reasonably split on? Is gender fluid or is it not? These are the questions that, like, although right now in Israel, because we've got a very proportional representative system of government or voting, you vote for small parties, your small interests, and you have a big parties. But even the bigger, you need to get 62 seats to win. Right, 61 to have a majority. The biggest party gets 18 maximum, so they've got to build a coalition. And we've just had our 4th election.
I was just going to ask about that.
And we still can't form a government. Form a government. They're going. My question. They're going to go to a 5th one. The Netanyahu had worked out to bring in Abbas, the Arab parties, into the government, but then he lost his coalition. They're like, well, I'm not going to sit with the religious Zionist parties. I'm not sitting with the Arabs who want to kill us, very openly want to kill us. I'm Gen X, not a boomer. Listen, Paul Priest says I'm Gen X. I don't think I'm Gen X. I was born in 71. When does that?
Oh, you're 3 years older than me then.
Yeah, when does Gen X start? When does Boomer start here?
I thought I was Gen X.
1 second. Gen X or Boomer? Let's find out what the definition is. Baby boomers were between 46 and 60. I'm not a boomer. I'm Gen X. He's right. We're both Gen X. Gen X was born between 65 and 79. We're Gen Xers, baby. That's it. Okay. I'm a Gen Xer with the mental agility of a boomer. How about that? That's basically what I am. Right. Yeah. Did you see King Kong versus Godzilla?
No, I started it the other night, but I have to say I'm not overexcited to watch it. I'll watch it, but I've never really been into it.
Okay, if you're not into monster movies, you're not. It's going to be a dud, right?
Well, the monster movies I love, are the ones done by Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh, they're wonderful. Yeah. No, but the amazing about these ones, and especially the last one as well, they're very schlocky movies, like you'll see in Mystery Science Theater 3000, but done with massive budgets, these massive budgets. It's the weirdest thing. So this Godzilla versus Kong was just really about Godzilla and King Kong beating each other up. There wasn't much more to it than that. And I don't think we really needed much more to it than that.
Oh, did you see the meme of the Whedon version of King Kong versus Godzilla?
No, what is that?
Where it's Barney versus Curious George.
I I think we should that yeah, I think that'd probably be. Would that be a better movie? It's a movie I wouldn't mind watching.
I mean, I think I'd be rooting for George in that one.
Well, didn't Barney get in trouble with children or the actor or something? No,
that was Pee Wee Herman.
No, Pee Wee Herman was Pee Wee Herman actually in today's world did one of the cleanest things, right? He paid his money, he went to a theater, by today's standard, he's like saintly, right? So you could ask this question. So there's two schools of thought in the Jewish world about Noah, right? They say Noah was a righteous man for his generation, right? The most righteous. I can't remember the exact quote, the exact biblical quote. So this is Rashi. He said there's two ways you can read that. He said it was saying he was a generally very, very righteous person, or he was the most righteous person in his generation. Not so righteous. So which way would you fall on that?
I didn't hear the person's name.
Noah, as in the guy with the ark.
Right. Well, yeah, I knew that. And in regard to the act of the thing, I don't know if I should mention or
no. In regards to his character, it's like again the
in regards to his character,
yeah. Was he a righteous?
Yeah,
person?
I would say. I mean, he was. Well, he had to have been righteous. I mean, God said he was one of the few to be spared.
Right, but again,
of all the earth, only him and his family were spared. I mean, I don't know how much more praise he should get for that.
Yeah, but then
unless he was a real rotten SOB, and I mean, he was the least rotten SOB on earth.
Well, yeah, that's the question. I should
probably cover
right?
that up when I say that.
If you take Noah and you put him in a righteous generation, is he a scumbag at that point?
Don't know.
It's interesting, isn't it? Think about it. So I was going to do this. It ended up being something different, but I always had this idea of doing this comic book about Noah and have him walk out and start off having him walk out of a tavern and throw up and then pass out drunk in the street. He liked a tipple, and then the caption will be Noah was a righteous man in his generation.
Well, as long as it's not like the Russell Crowe version of Noah.
That had a lot in it I quite liked. I have to tell you, it had a lot I quite liked. The depiction of the Garden of Eden and the fruit as a beating heart, right? It's
been years since I've seen it. I just remember the idea that Noah's going to kill his son's wife to prevent pregnancy.
Yeah, that was a bit of an own goal. That wasn't great, but there's that was surprisingly well researched. That thing pulled a lot from Midrashim, right? There was these was it Apocrypha? Well, let me catch up with the chat again. Hello, Rabbi. Israel is a regional superpower with nuclear weapons. We've never admitted that. We haven't. We really haven't. We never admitted it. The small hats could conquer as much as the Middle East any day. Well, probably true. I mean, listen. Probably true. But I think, honestly, I think that we would only be successful if we were, a righteous nation, which sometimes we are. A lot of times we're not. Let me see what else. Ethan Buckham says, had not mingled with the fallen ones. That was that was part of the midrash. That all of that generation they were sleeping with anything, but they were having babies with demons and things like that.
I'm trying to find. Okay, I got one video. You mentioned the nuclear weapons. I got a video for you, and it's on my channel, so it won't be. Let me see if I can. Okay, let me do the share thing. Make sure I click the share audio. Okay. Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, rock and roll, baby.
Okay, here we go. Let me turn the sound up.
By their respective totalitarian governments. The Vatican also announced that as an independent state, it will join the United States, Britain, and the Soviet Union in signing the treaty to stop the spread of nuclear weapons. The Vatican has a 50-man army which does not carry rifles and, so far as is known, has no nuclear capability.
So far as we know. Yeah, let's keep it to ourselves.
I just loved it. I mean, but as somebody said, as one of my friends said, you never know. It might be in the Vatican Secret Archive.
Well, yeah. Was it apparently the menorah from the was it the candelabra from the Holy of Holies in the temple is in the Vatican archives? Like a bunch of people have said that like a pope had showed it to a bunch of people. I'm not sure which pope. I would have thought John Paul.
I never heard that.
Yeah,
I'm being serious. I never heard that.
Yeah. It's a famous thing in what's the word looking for? Not Baba Maya.
Relic?
It's like this Jewish thing in Jewish, I don't know, circles.
Well, we would probably call it a relic.
Yeah.
Kind of like.
Hello?
Yeah, no. I just kind of lost it. I figured, okay, relic, kind of like a piece of, it's like some of the baseball cards I get today. Some of the baseball cards you can get today will have a relic of a jersey that was worn by a player.
Right. So wait. What type of relics are there that you know about?
Okay, so when it comes to saints, relic could be a first-class relic would be a piece of the saint itself, whether a piece of bone, hair, or I mean, even like there's a church in Rome where I went to when I visited that had the heart of Saint Charles Borromeo.
Really?
Yeah. You don't get to see it. I mean, it's in the reliquarium. But he was the patron saint of the seminary I went to in Philadelphia. So I made a point to visit his church.
Is it okay in Catholicism not to bury somebody with all their bits?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, it depends. It depends. I mean, again, you have to look at the reason why you're doing it. So a few years ago, let me see if I can bring up the image. A few years ago, probably 5-6 years ago, Saint John Vianney was a priest that lived in France, and he is considered to be the parish saint, the parish patron saint. Thank you. I'm trying to talk and type at the same time. He's the patron saint of parish priests. And what happened was a few years ago, his heart was basically put into reliquarium where we can adore. I mean, the idea of relics is we don't worship them. We don't, we just honor. Okay, there's the heart of St. John Vianney.
No. How big is that? Doesn't look very big.
Well, you have to remember, he's been dead over 150 years.
I guess it would have shrunk. Yeah. Well, is that actually it? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so weird.
Let me see if I can find his body. Because I think his body is incorrupt.
Really?
Yeah. Is this showing up on this?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, wait. Okay, it should be... Let me reshare that because it should have came up on a different website.
Was he embalmed?
No.
Or was it just like a miracle?
See, sometimes with some saints, they are given a special blessing where the body doesn't decorrupt. So we would say the incorruptibles. That should be up there now.
Oh, there you go. Wow. Because I've heard of this as well. There was a guy. What was it? They had to two stories like this, and they're from reasonably reliable sources. There was a guy who wasn't like this particular like special holy person. He was just very honest in business. He was very scrupulously honest. And then they needed to exhume his body for something. I can't remember why. And it was as if he was freshly buried. Who's this?
This is Saint Bernadette, who we believe that the Virgin Mary appeared to at Lourdes in France.
Really? What'd you say?
She died of TB.
Oh, well, sorry to
So
hear
that
that.
would be another example of a body that's incorrupt.
So, what did she say? Well, like to when she had a vision, like why'd she appear?
Well, I mean, there's a few things that one of the big things that comes from Lourdes is that Mary referred to herself as the Immaculate Conception. Basically, that she was preserved from original sin so that she could be the mother of Jesus. But the other thing, too, that Mary told Bernadette was to dig in a certain direction for a well. And this is where the miraculous waters of Lourdes, I don't know how familiar you are with Lourdes, but there's many, 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 many healings that happen at Lourdes because of this water.
Wow, I did not know about that. That's fascinating. That's absolutely
So,
fascinating. Yeah, it goes the other way around. Right? There was this this again, it's quite a famous story in around was it Jerusalem. There was a woman who was quite a famous for speaking badly about other people, talking like gossiping about other people, and they needed to exhume, like open up her grave. In Israel, you're buried without a coffin. They wrap you in
oh
the
really?
shroud.
Okay.
Yeah, because we
I knew it
feel
had to be within 24 hours, isn't it?
much quicker. We because we feel that the sooner the body decomposes, the quicker you go to heaven
Okay.
completely. That it's all tied with that. And there's a bone at the back of your head that's supposed to regenerate yourself, and which never dissolves. That's for the resurrection of the dead in wherever future that will be. So they exhumed the body, and they were again. This is quite a famous story. Apparently, lots of snakes around this woman's neck. Right, it was very scary. Listen, I'm gonna have to go in a second, but yeah, I wanted to share this with you. This is a prayer I say every day. Maybe you'll find it useful. maybe you'll find it interesting. Maybe you'll find it useful. This is called the Ein Od Movado prayer, which means there is nothing other than God. It's a meditation saying there's nothing other than God. So where this comes from is when Jews were trying to run the Russian border. And they were being shot at by Cossacks, right? This is the prayer they would say, and they said that they would more often than not, escape with their lives. So here, I'll run through it with you. It's so in Gadol, it's a big thing. It's a big thing. A matter of great. It's a great matter, is it translated? V'segula nifla, and it's a wonderful. A segula is like an omen. It's a good omen. It's a very strong good omen. That's a nifla, which is incredible. Levato koadinim, to nullify all judgments of harotzonos and desires, and forces from a person. Shalo yecho shalom bo, so they won't be able to get you in any way at all. V'lo yeshul kol rishum, and they won't be able to have any was it effect on you? If a person directs his hearts and says they put this thing, which is the thing in white, the important thing. Hala, it's a wow. God was it Hashem hu Elokim. God Hashem hu Elokim emeti. God is a how did they translate it? God is pure truth. God is pure truth. For Ein Od Movado, there's nothing else other than God. Yes, bro, he should be blessed. Kol koch ba'olam, every power in this world. And here's the bit I really love about this. Ub'chol olamas klo, and any other world, any other reality, any other world. Hakol male, all of them are really just filled rak chedusa peshuta, with God's simple essence. Right? Everything is a puppet for God's will. Yisbrach may he be praised. And if you do that exercise, you look at life that way, and you kind of imagine everybody is like a glove puppet filled by God, right? You see God speaks to you, and he does connect you more. So I'll just run through the rest of it. He has to completely nullify his heart. So there's no power in the world will be able to touch him. It's kind of like I'm sure they did this in Star Trek, where they got to see through the illusion, right? And they had Spock, like, what was that episode? They had Spock.
Oh,
no, Doctor.
Yeah. I don't remember the episode.
Yeah, I deny this reality.
The bullets aren't real.
Right, exactly, yeah, exactly. So again, the more that you're connected to the reality of God, the less the physical world has any sway over you. And he should subjugate and attach the purity of his thoughts only to the oneness of his master, which is God. Blessed be he. And if you do that, and then God may be blessed, will nullify forces against you. And none of them will be able to have power over at all. And nobody else will be able to. There'll be no what's the word? Desires in the world. Nothing's going to be able to attack them. More clarity you have that there is only God, right? The less the world can touch you. The gum, and here's the important bit. Yigsaw, there is a declaration. So a person who makes this decree, there's a spiritual decree for him, and they will be able to do incredible miracles. They'll be able to go against the basic nature of reality, against the basic nature of nature, right? You get lucky. You get lucky. When one sticks themselves to God and subjugates themselves to God and attaches themselves to the purity of God, ultimately, they do it with their heart in every moment. Only to God. And then God will work in the natural order, or even go against the natural order. So this is something I say every day, and it's a really good prayer. Who was it? It says it was designed by I can't remember. This is from Nefesh HaChaim, section 3. Nefesh HaChaim was a famous rabbi. But anyway, that's they say most Jews don't do this. I did the graphic design on this, but most Jews don't do this. But it's a really good prayer that really focuses you on whenever you get swallowed up in this world, to understand this world isn't really real. There's more going to it than that. So there you go. I thought I'd share that with you.
No, nice. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good. So what do you? So do you have Saturday off, and then it's big day on Sunday?
Well, tomorrow night I have the vigil, and then I have the 3 masses on Sunday as normal, and then I will be celebrating with.
What is that? A cigar?
Cigars.
Oh, very good. So all Jews across Israel tomorrow night and on Sunday night, if outside of Israel, they will be going and doing the holy Jewish sacrament of buying bagels, because we haven't had leavened bread for a week. So we're going to be buying bagels and having beer. That's our plan.
I'll be enjoying scotch.
Scotch. Yeah, we have scotch as well. There's a Jewish Ethiopian holiday called Mamuna. Which is where you make these big donut things. My daughters are going to a friend to do that tomorrow night. So there you go. Big weekend for both of us. By the way, was it Father Miller's channel is in the video notes. If you're not subscribed, then please subscribe. Please subscribe to my channel as well. That will be very, very nice. I will not stop you doing that. Do you have anything coming up that you would like to plug?
Normally I would stream Sunday, but after this last few days, I'm taking Sunday night off.
There you go. Put your feet up. Listen, it's your busy time of year. Fine. Yeah. With that, I'm going to bid everybody adieu. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. And if you're Christian, have a great Easter. If you're Jewish, have a great end of Passover. And if you're neither, go find something that you believe in. There you go. I'm clicking the end broadcast.